Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news on NTA International. I'm Najat Tijani and with me is Bamidele John doing sign language. First, the headlines.
Today, we are handing over to the people of Niger Delta a befitting head office complex for present and future use.
More than a decade after, Niger Delta Development Commission moves into own complex. Federal government will not engage mercenaries in fight against insurgents and other forms of insecurity in the country. Department of Weights and Measures poised to protect consumers by clamping down on cheats. Now the news in detail. The office complex of the Niger Delta Development Commission, completed at 16 billion naira, has been formally inaugurated. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony virtually, described it as an important milestone in his administration's efforts at repositioning the Commission for Sustainable Development of the Niger Delta region. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Occupying a total land area of 39,116 square meters, the new magnificent disabled-friendly head office complex of the NDDC consists of a 13-floor twin-tower main building as well as a 4-story ancillary building which will be home to commercial properties like banks, hospitals, restaurants and various conference halls. Before the completion of the project, which started in 1996, NDDC has been spending 200 million naira annually on rent.
I commend the management and staff of NDDC who stay in the cause and keen into the reform agenda of our administration. Today, we are handing over to the people of Niger Delta a befitting head office complex for present and future use. Consequently, huge yearly rentals will now be saved and deployed to other areas of needs in the region. I am particularly pleased to note the cordial relationship between the NDDC and the National Assembly and hope that this relationship will be strengthened further for the benefit of the people of the Niger Delta region.
President Buhari commended the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, for providing the required leadership that led to the completion of the project.
In 2015, as part of our administration's cardinal objectives to kill corruption, some critical reforms were embarked upon, part of which with a holistic reform of the NDDC for greater service delivery for the people of the region. To achieve this, I reassigned the supervision of the NDDC to the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs for administrative efficiency. Second, with the appointment of forensic auditors to review the operations of the Commission and to ensure that the appropriations made to the NNDC are commensurate with what is on the ground.
Speakers at the event poured encomiums on President Muhammadu Buhari for his passion and genuine commitment towards enhancing the development of the Niger Delta region.
I wholeheartedly commend President Muhammadu Buhari for setting up a forensic audit to look through the books of NDDC. I also welcome the setting up of an interim administration to manage the affairs of the Commission pending the conclusion of the forensic audit. With the Commission's new headquarters coming on stream, NDDC is now expected to turn a new leaf in attitude, in performance, and in general operations. May God bless Mr. President for this edifice. This complex will improve the lives of the people of Niger Delta. These things are being done in a period of pandemic, when many countries cannot pay salaries. I think if nobody can praise you, God Almighty will praise you by giving you strength of character and giving you long life and helping the rest of us who are committed to your vision to helping you to realize your dream for Nigeria.
We, the chiefs, kings and elders of the Niger Delta, are completely confident in your ability to carry us to the next level.
With the inauguration of the new office complex of the NDDC, attention is now focused on the ongoing forensic audit, whose outcome many believe will lead to rejigging the operations of the Commission for effective service delivery. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has formally declared that it will not engage mercenaries in its fight against insurgents and other forms of insecurity in the country. The National Security Advisor, Babagana Monguno, stated this at the third edition of the State House media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications team focusing on the security sector. Here again is State House correspondent Adamu Sambo with details.
Babagana Monguno was responding to a question on renewed calls on the federal government to engage foreign mercenaries in routing Boko Haram terrorists in Sambisa Forest and other insurgent enclaves.
The direction of the Commander-in-Chief is that we do not engage mercenaries when we have our own people to deal with this problem. The President has given a new lease of life to the armed forces, and I believe that we should be able to overcome these people without resorting to help from mercenaries.
The National Security Advisor also ruled out the possibility of the federal government negotiating with either the bandits, terrorists, or other criminal elements.
Psychologically, it's not even good for us. It paints the picture of weakness. It paints the picture of incapacity, and I do not see any reason why we cannot, with what we have, deal with these elements. These are not people who are looking for anything that is genuine, kosher, legitimate. These are people who are just out to take measures, calculated measures to inflict pain, violence on people. And we must deal with them the way they have to be dealt with.
The federal government, he said, will not succumb to blackmail and the use of criminals by proxies to harass innocent Nigerians.
I want to assure you, categorically and unequivocally, the government is going to apply its full weight to deal with these criminals until such a time that they vacate the shores of this country. This is President Muhammadu Buhari's thinking. This is his trajectory. And this is what we are going to do.
He said the recent changes made by the president in the nation's security architecture has brought a new ray of hope that Nigeria will be effectively secured and stabilized for a sustainable future. He, however, made a case for human intelligence so that the objectives can be achieved in the shortest time possible. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And on the health scene, Nigerians have once again been assured of the safety of the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine in the country. This time around, from the agency responsible for its authenticity, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, stated this just after taking her first dose of the vaccine. Hamman Jabani reports.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control is responsible for certifying the safety of COVID-19 vaccine, and Director General of the agency, while taking her first shot, said due diligence have been observed and it is safe irrespective of allergies that comes with all drugs. She informed that Johnson & Johnson vaccine is expected between the second and the third quarter of the year, while 14 herbal medicines have been listed for COVID-19 but are yet to undergo clinical trials.
There is no medicine that doesn't have side effects, especially when it's going through development. It is whether the benefits outweigh the risk. And the conclusion is that from all indications, quality, safety, efficacy, the benefits outweighed the side effects. From all indications, it is generally safe.
It is efficacious and it will protect you and I against the COVID-19 infection.
I got my vaccine. This is my card.
Mojisola Adeyeye is calling on Nigerians to avail themselves for vaccination when it gets to them in order to have a safe country. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And still on health, the United Nations program on HIV/AIDS is embarking on more proactive awareness campaigns as key measures to check the spread of HIV and AIDS in Nigeria. It is currently providing counseling to some categories of youth who, by their profession, endanger the lives of others. David Ire reports.
About 1.9 million people are living with HIV/AIDS in Nigeria, most of who are between 15 and 49 years. The prevalence rate, which dropped from 2.8% to 1.4% in 2019, no doubt is a cheering news for the nation. But there seems to be an increase among youths of between 15 and 25 years, according to the United Nations Program on AIDS. The agency is therefore concerned about the activities of some special youths, like sex workers and others who mingle freely, thereby endangering the lives of others.
And I've come here to thank the Nigerian government for doing this work and to ask them to do even more, because we still have maybe about 500,000 people in this country who are not yet on treatment but who have HIV. So there's work to do. There's good work done, but there's still work to do.
The Institute of Human Virology and other community service providers now give counseling services to these classes of people, especially on key areas like human rights and cultural demands.
Ultimately, what we wanted to see is viral suppression, where they can live a normal life, where they can morbidity, mortality can be reduced in these patients for them to live a healthy life.
Has come to see what we do and how we deliver our services to young persons, adolescents, and also the youth that are unable to access services in any other place.
HIV, AIDS, and tuberculosis prevention services, post-gender-based violence care, and the linkage to HIV treatment are also being provided by the centers. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
And on the global scene, several European countries suspend use of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine over blood clot fears. And China approves resolution to overhaul Hong Kong's electoral system. Joyce Ometu has details of these and more on Global Update.
1 year ago, the World Health Organization officially declared COVID-19 a pandemic. Since then, there have been records of more than 118 million cases and 2.6 million deaths globally. Out of these, Nigeria accounts for 159,646 cases and 1,993 fatalities. Reports indicate that at least 150 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have now been administered worldwide. From Europe, Denmark, Iceland and Norway, among other countries, have suspended the use of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine as a precaution while investigation on concerns relating to blood clots commences. The move follows reports of serious cases of blood clots among people vaccinated with the jab and after a woman who received a dose died from a blood clot. AstraZeneca, in a statement, says its vaccine is safe, while the EU and UK drug regulators say there is no evidence of link between the vaccine and the death. Meanwhile, the European Medicines Agency has authorized Johnson & Johnson's one-dose coronavirus vaccine, giving the continent a fourth licensed vaccine. In a decision issued Thursday, the EU medicines regulator said, after a thorough evaluation, Johnson & Johnson's vaccines met the criteria for efficacy, safety, and quality. In Kenya, The Health Minister, Mutahi Kagwe, has said the country is experiencing a third wave of COVID-19 infections. The Health Ministry also reported a rise in COVID-19 patients on ventilators. To other stories, China's legislature has approved a resolution to overhaul Hong Kong's electoral system, its latest move to tighten control over the city. The move will reduce democratic representation and allow a pro-Beijing panel to vet and elect candidates. In another development, security forces in Libya have freed more than 100 people believed to be migrants who were held captive and tortured by human traffickers. The army in a statement said the migrants and refugees, mostly Egyptians, were released on Wednesday after a morning raid on the dens of human traffickers. And that's where we end this segment. I am Joyce Umetu.
Thank you, Joyce. We'll take a break now. More reports when we return.
Hey beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more.
Thanks for staying with NTA International. Now, avoid unnecessary use of over-the-counter painkillers. Limit your salt intake and ensure adequate fiber intake, as well as water-rich foods to avoid any form of harm to the kidneys. These are some of the lifestyle changes suggested by kidney disease caregivers as the world marks the 2021 World Kidney Day. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
Being diagnosed with kidney disease, observers say, can be a huge challenge and trauma for both the patient and those people around them. Colonel Alu Dan Omar Tadi has been diagnosed with end-stage renal disease. He told me that the disease is impacting severely on his life by reducing his ability to be fully active every day.
Frankly, I used to drink beer. Unfortunately, it was not discovered on time until my kidneys failed completely. They both failed before the doctors realized I had kidney problems.
This year, the World Kidney Day Steering Committee declared 2021 the year of living well with kidney disease, in order to increase education and awareness about effective symptom management and patient empowerment, with the ultimate goal of encouraging life participation.
As we are aging, there are things that we need to cut off from, the kind of sugars we take, and also imbibing an active life.
Hypertension and diabetes, some say, are the drivers of the chronic kidney disease.
In fact, some studies have shown as much as close to 20% of adult population can be seen to have chronic kidney disease.
Parents should always watch what their children consume, as the disease is no longer restricted to adults only.
We don't know what they are mixing with the colored drinks, colored water, and the children take it. I have 10 years old, I have 15, I have 28. They're already down and they're already dialysis.
Nephrologists and other medical practitioners want government to assist in subsidizing the treatment and management of the disease. Caregivers appeal for more effective, integrated and holistic system management for all patients with kidney diseases. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Thank you, Adebola. Now joining us for more on the 2021 World Kidney Day is a nephrology nurse and matron in charge of the dialysis unit, Garki Hospital, Abuja, Omotayo Akinremi. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, why is the day set aside and what are the main causes of kidney disease?
Well, the World Kidney Day, a day is set aside for World Kidney Day for people to know more and to be reminded more of the importance and the functions of the precious organs, kidneys. So people need to be reminded of the functions of the kidneys and how they can actually care for the kidneys not to be failed, because the cost of the treatment of kidney failure is expensive. It actually incurs high financial burden on the patient, on the society, and also the government if kidneys is diseased.
Now, what role can early detection play in the management of chronic kidney diseases?
Thank you very much. Early detection plays a very huge role. Early detection plays a very huge role in the prevention of kidney failure, because we have about 5 stages of kidney disease, and if this kidney disease earlier detected enough at maybe stage 2 or stage 3, the role of diet or medications can play a very huge role from progression into kidney failure, because a kidney failure stage 5 definitely will require renal replacement therapy, which is highly expensive. And those renal replacement therapy are peritoneal dialysis, hemodialysis, and kidney transplantation. All these 3 renal forms of renal replacement therapy are so expensive, and so that is why it's actually important for people, if they are diagnosed earlier enough and they promptly treated it, it can actually save their lives.
All right, earlier on you talked about funding. Now, for those living with the disease, how easy is it to manage, especially in terms of funding? And are they getting the kind of support they require from non-governmental organizations and others?
Well, presently as it is, there is no support so far for people that are going through this disease. Some people, you see them, the result on social media, raising funds, but sometimes the funds doesn't come by until maybe some of them pass out or died. So it's actually important we are soliciting for non-governmental organizations and even the government to rise up and subsidize the treatment for these patients so that they can always live a near normal life. They should know that if being diagnosed with kidney disease shouldn't be the end of the life once there is treatment for the disease.
So I want to thank you very much for joining us on this segment today and for giving us more insight.
Okay, thank you so much.
And that was the matron in charge of the dialysis unit at Garki Hospital, Omotayo Akinremi. And to legal matters now. Justice Ian Epu of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has extended the restraining order issued to the Ondo State government from probing or removing the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Oluwatoyin Akeredolu, by 14 days. Austin Anyebe reports that this follows the non-appearance in court of 4 out of the 6 defendants.
The Chief Judge of Ondo State, Oluwatoyin Akeredolu, had approached the Federal High Court seeking to stop the governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the Attorney General of the state and State House of Assembly, from probing her based on allegations made against her and the state judiciary by one Olupelumi Fagboyegun, who had been detained for the past 3 years. She equally sought an order to stop the Attorney General of the Federation, National Judicial Council, and Inspector General of Police from acting on any report submitted to them by Ondo State government pending the determination of the substantive suit. Justice Eku had granted the ex parte order on 25th of February with the expectation of hearing a motion on the 11th of March. However, the motion could not be heard because only one defendant entered appearance by filing a counter affidavit. The absence of the defendants informed the decision of Justice Eku to extend the restraining order and adjourn the matter to the 22nd of March to enable the defendants appear in court.
I've been serving them hearing notice consistently, and today they are again not in court, and the court has made an order extending the lifespan of that ex parte order by another 14 days.
Governor Akeredolu was said to have ordered investigation into the allegation that the Chief Judge of Ondo State, Oluwatoyin Akeredolu, illegally detained a suspect, Olupelumi Fagboyegun, for 3 years. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Now, April 29th has been set aside for the commencement of Phase 2 of the digital switchover from analog to digital broadcasting in the country. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, announced the date at a media briefing in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister, while announcing the new dates for the commencement of the rollout phase 2, said 4 states, 3 of them densely populated.
This is to accentuate our eagerness to take the DSO to as many Nigerians as possible, as well as to ensure its viability, as we have now decided that the process will be commercially driven. Our decision to also kickstart the analog switch off is a clear testimony to our commitment to complete the DSO process as soon as possible.
And to make the process viable, the minister assured that channel owners and content providers will be supported through the implementation of the audience measurement system to guarantee a sustained stream of revenue from advertising for them to attract investment in content development.
In this regard, the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, has been directed to implement key policies to guarantee the advertising income of media houses by creating a healthy environment for the media outfits to operate. Very soon, APCON and the National Broadcasting Commission will sign an MOU on zero advertising debts to ensure that revenue from advertisers goes to the media owners.
On set-top boxes, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, the minister said, will partner with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to ensure a reduction in tariff on raw materials for its production, saying his ministry will aim at 0% tariff for completely knocked-down components and not more than 5% tariff for semi-knocked-down components against the current 5% tariff for completely knocked-down components and 10% for semi-knocked-down components. This, the minister assured, will make the set-top boxes within the reach of an average Nigerian. Giving a rundown on how the Phase 2 rollout will run, Acting Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, said the process will go through to the end of the year.
So by the plan that we have, by the end of first quarter in 2022, we will have had additional 10 states. Additional 10 states will have been, or a total of 10 states will have been switched on in Nigeria. Lagos, Kano, Rivers, Yobe, Gombe, Imo, Akwa Ibom, Oyo, Jigawa, and Ebonyi states.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And that story on the digital switchover concludes the news on NTA International. Remember to stand with the NTA against rape and rapists. I'm Naja'atu Tijani, and with me is Bamidele John as interpreter.